A lot of people believe discipline means being tougher than everyone else, or having the ability to suffer endlessly. But that isn't discipline. That's unnecessary pain. Real discipline isn't about grit or raw willpower. It's about learning how to govern yourself. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's about creating systems that make the right choice easier. Discipline isn't just a personality trait. It's a system. At 18, I was overweight, struggling in school, and unhappy with my life. I thought I simply wasn't a disciplined person. But everything changed when I started creating systems. Systems that made better choices easier than bad ones. For example, I cleared my house of junk food. If I wanted it, I had to walk to the store. Without a car, that became a hassle. Suddenly, eating it required effort. That's when I realized something important. Discipline can feel uncomfortable now, but the cost of avoiding discipline lasts much longer. Your environment can either protect your discipline or destroy it. Most people don't lack discipline, they lack systems. Sometimes, what looks like laziness is poor design. You make the wrong choice convenient. Then you blame yourself for choosing it. And this is something you need to understand. If you keep putting yourself in an environment where your weakest habits are constantly being rewarded, you will eventually become exhausted from fighting them. You don't have to prove how strong you are every single day. Sometimes wisdom is simply removing the thing you keep having to resist. So where do you start? Start by looking at your environment. Ask yourself, what makes discipline harder here? What constantly distracts you? What makes temptation too convenient? What keeps making your goals difficult? Remove what you can. Change what you can. Make the right choice easier. And don't underestimate small environmental changes. Put your Bible where you can see it. Keep your workout clothes ready. Put your phone away when you need to focus. Prepare your meals before you're starving. Put money somewhere that makes impulsive spending harder. These things may look small, but small changes can remove unnecessary battles from your day. Proverbs 25-28 says, "A man without self-control is like a city broken into." Self-control protects what you're building. It creates boundaries around your future. You don't need more pressure. You need better systems. Motivation and willpower are like batteries. They eventually drain. If you depend on motivation, consistency becomes difficult. Most mornings, you won't feel motivated. That's normal. Your system should carry you when motivation disappears. When I first tried dieting, I depended completely on willpower. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. Don't touch this. Eventually, I gave in. It became exhausting. Instead of relying on feelings, build structure. If you're going out for dinner, check the menu first. Decide what you'll eat before arriving, or eat something healthy beforehand. Don't wait until you're hungry and surrounded by choices. That's discipline. You're making the decision before temptation arrives. And this principle applies far beyond food. If you know you waste money when you shop emotionally, don't browse shopping apps when you're bored. If you know you lose hours on your phone at night, don't take the phone to bed. If you know you procrastinate when a task feels overwhelming, break the task into the smallest possible step and begin there. The goal is not to constantly fight temptation. The goal is to stop making temptation your daily environment. Discipline isn't only about stopping behaviors, it's about replacing them. Swap the habit for something better. Replace mindless scrolling with reading. Replace unnecessary spending with saving. Replace late-night scrolling with sleep. Replace constant distraction with focused work. Ask yourself, what choice today eliminates 10 choices tomorrow? That question can completely change your life. If discipline constantly feels like punishment, rethink your approach. True discipline should be difficult sometimes, but it should also be sustainable. If your routine is impossible to maintain, eventually you'll abandon it. When I started working out, I jumped into advanced classes. I hated every minute of it. My friend reminded me that muscles need time to adapt. If everything constantly hurts, you'll eventually quit. The same principle applies to your life. Start where you are, lower the bar, build gradually, stack small wins, make your goals achievable, let yourself experience progress, small promises kept daily, rebuild your trust in yourself. And sometimes, we make the mistake of thinking that because something is small, it isn't meaningful. But your life is actually built through small things. The way you spend one morning becomes the way you spend many mornings. The way you handle one temptation becomes evidence of how you handle future temptations. The way you keep one promise to yourself begins teaching you that your own word matters. You don't have to transform overnight. You need to become consistent. You need to make progress repeatable. You need to stop measuring yourself against perfection. Be curious about your behavior. Don't constantly judge yourself. Ask yourself why you keep repeating something. What triggers it? What happens before it? What could you change? Study yourself, then adjust your system. Discipline is about better alternatives. It's not about instant perfection. You don't have to completely destroy an old habit overnight. Sometimes, you replace it gradually. Maybe you spend 3 hours scrolling. Start with 2, then 90 minutes, then 1 hour. The goal is progress that lasts. Small changes compound. And give yourself permission to learn. If a system isn't working, that doesn't automatically mean you are a failure. Sometimes the system needs to change. Maybe the goal is too big. Maybe the timing is wrong. Maybe you're trying to build 5 habits at once. Pay attention, adjust, and try again. James 1:22 says, "Be doers of the word, and not hearers only." Knowing what to do isn't enough. At some point, knowledge must become action. You can watch hundreds of discipline videos. You can buy planners. You can make beautiful schedules. You can write down your goals. But none of that matters without execution. You have to do the thing. And sometimes discipline is simply doing today's assignment. Not tomorrow's, not next month's, today's. Small steps compound into results that eventually become impossible to ignore. Think about planning. Every year, you can create a clear direction, then break that direction into months. Break those months into weeks. Break those weeks into days. That way, you don't have to constantly figure everything out. You already know what matters. You're simply executing. On a smaller scale, plan your week. Choose your priorities. Schedule important tasks. Decide what deserves your attention. Remove unnecessary decisions, and be honest about what actually deserves your attention. Everything that feels urgent isn't important. Everything that makes noise doesn't deserve access to your time. Discipline also means being able to say, "This is not what I need to focus on right now." Discipline isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. And repetition is what produces results. Most people chase novelty. New workouts, new routines, new planners, new ideas, new challenges. But novelty feels productive without always producing progress. Consistency is less exciting, but consistency works. Simple actions repeated daily can completely transform your life. Your life doesn't change because you occasionally feel inspired. It changes because you repeatedly make better decisions, and you won't always want to. There will be mornings when you don't want to exercise, days when you don't want to work, nights when you don't want to pray, moments when quitting feels easier. That's where discipline matters. You don't have to obey every feeling you experience. Your feelings are real, but they don't always tell you what to do. You can feel tired and still do something important. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel discouraged and still remain faithful. And this doesn't mean ignoring yourself or pretending you never need rest. Discipline also means knowing when to rest, when to slow down, and when to recognize that your body and mind need care. The difference is that you are making the decision intentionally rather than allowing every uncomfortable feeling to make the decision for you. Galatians 5:22-23 reminds us that self-control is fruit. It's something that grows. You don't wake up one day completely disciplined. You practice it. You strengthen it. You repeat it. And eventually, it becomes part of who you are. That's why discipline is deeper than productivity. It's about identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, something changes. You begin trusting yourself. You begin believing your own words. You stop constantly starting over. The woman you want emerges through repeated ordinary choices. And that's the real reward. Not simply reaching the goal. Not simply losing weight. Not simply becoming successful. It's becoming a woman who knows she can trust herself. A woman who says, "I'll do it," and follows through. A woman who doesn't need someone constantly watching her. A woman who can govern herself privately. A woman who knows how to return when she falls. Because discipline doesn't mean you never fail. It means failure doesn't become your identity. You get back up, you adjust, you continue, you build again. And this is where your faith matters. God doesn't expect you to become disciplined through your own strength. But trusting God doesn't mean abandoning responsibility. You pray, then you prepare. You ask God for strength. Then you use the strength you've been given. You ask for wisdom. Then you make wiser decisions. You ask for direction. Then you actually move. Prayer and discipline can work together beautifully. You don't have to choose between depending on God and taking responsibility. You can do both. And sometimes the answer to your prayer may not look like a sudden transformation. Sometimes it looks like wisdom to change your routine. Sometimes it looks like courage to set a boundary. Sometimes it looks like strength to try again after failing. Sometimes God gives you the grace to keep doing the ordinary thing until the ordinary thing produces an extraordinary result. So if you've been struggling with discipline, stop attacking yourself. Look at your systems. Look at your environment. Look at your routines. Look at what you've made convenient. Then change what needs changing. Don't create a life that constantly requires you to fight yourself. Create a life that supports the woman you're becoming. And start small. Choose one habit, one boundary, one system, one decision, then repeat it. Tomorrow, repeat it again. Eventually, what once required effort will become normal, and what once felt impossible will become part of your lifestyle. Father, thank you for every woman listening right now. Give her strength to become disciplined. Give her wisdom to build better systems. Help her recognize what keeps distracting her. Help her remove what constantly pulls her backward. Give her self-control when temptation comes. Give her patience with her progress. Teach her not to despise small beginnings. When she falls, help her get back up. When she feels discouraged, remind her why she started. When she doesn't feel motivated, strengthen her to continue. Help her become consistent without becoming harsh with herself. Help her understand that discipline is stewardship. Help her faithfully manage what you have placed in her hands. Give her wisdom with her time, relationships, money, body, and gifts. And help her become the woman you are shaping her to be. Amen. Now, don't just listen to this and feel inspired. Choose one thing to change today. Change your environment. Create the system. Make the decision. Then repeat it tomorrow. You don't need to become perfect. You need to become consistent. You don't need to become harder. You need to become intentional. You don't need endless motivation. You need a structure that carries you forward. Discipline is not about punishing yourself into becoming better. It's about building a life that supports your growth. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. One ordinary day at a time. Keep showing up. Keep choosing wisely. Keep becoming.